We're here with Green Bay Gamblers strength and conditioning coach Jason Aldrich. The Green Bay Gamblers are heading on the road this weekend to Plymouth, Michigan to take on Team USA, and we're talking with Jason because I want to figure out what kind of differences there are on the road when it comes to nutrition and getting the guys ready. So my first question for you, Aldi, is when it comes to workouts and whatnot, how do you guys keep the guys fresh on the road?
On the road, it's a little more difficult on the road because you don't have your normal equipment at home. So you just kind of have to do like a lot of movement type stuff, stretching, mobility, like dynamic warm-up type of things, especially when you're getting off a bus after a long trip and they're sitting around stiff. So you get them off the bus and get them moving right away and kind of get that bus ride out of them as quick as possible.
Now I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's tough though. You're on a bus for 6-7 hours and then they got to get out and play a game that night.
Yeah, exactly. So preparation for that is very, very important. I pack a ton of stuff as far as like just little things that I can fit into trunks and fit on the bus to get guys' bodies ready to go, get them loosened up, stretched out, and we take a lot of time with that. As soon as we get off the bus, we do something, and then about an hour later, we do a little bit more movement type stuff. When we get off the bus, it's more stretching, light, and then before the game, about 45 minutes before the game, we do a lot more like movement, blood flow, and get them kind of really amped up and moving, and their body's ready to go. So it's a little bit of a different process when we're at home. It's a little bit more difficult, but we have an older team, so they know how to take care of themselves, and they're really good about it.
One thing that I notice is nutrition is key when it comes to athletes and whatnot. It's very hard to control on the road. What are some of the steps you guys take to control their nutrition on the road, knowing that A, they have a long bus trip, and B, it's not a controlled environment like here at home?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, it's easier on the road to control their nutrition because we set up all their meals. So we actually hand pick everything they eat, so we can have more control over that on the road. We're at home, they're on their own for meals. They have to either make their own meal or go out for their own meal, so we have no idea what they eat when they're at home. But on the road, we set their meals, set their menu, so they only can pick through a certain amount of things. And so it's actually a lot easier to control that on the road because they have no other option. They have to eat what we have set for them. So in that sense, the nutritional front is a lot easier on the road. It's the post-game nutrition stuff that's a little more difficult because guys don't travel with their recovery drinks and all that stuff. So, we pack chocolate milk on the road, and we try to get food in them as quickly as possible after games, not just pizza, but have a good meal set for immediately post-game for them. So it's not, especially if they have a back-to-back, we don't want them eating pizza and then having to wake up the next morning and play a game. So we set a meal, and it's actually a lot more control on the road. It's kind of nice.
What is a regular eating day for a player? Like say you're on the road, what are their meals like? What do they consist of?
Well, normally we skate in the morning, so we'll wake up and have breakfast, and breakfast is usually pretty light. It usually consists of cereals, oatmeal, fruit, vegetables. Not too many vegetables at this age, guys. Gotta stay away from that. But a lot of fruit in the morning, a lot of oatmeal stuff. We try to get like eggs and some higher protein type of foods in them, but sometimes hotels don't always have the best options, so we just kind of do what we can. But we try to get that breakfast to be a good meal, but it's not a big heavy meal since we're going on the ice for a morning skate right after. But after that, they pretty much don't eat again until like 2:30. We usually have our pregame meal. We like to have it a little bit earlier so they have time to digest it, and that meal consists of chicken, pasta, and salad pretty consistently. That's what the guys like. It's easy for them to digest. They all eat it. It's pretty simple. No one really complains about it. So, but I put a heavy emphasis on the protein over, so just because it's easier to digest. If you load up a heavy pasta, it's just going to sit in you for the game time. You want your heavy pastas the night before.
Now, what fans don't realize, if you come into the player hallway, you guys have granola bars, you have sandwiches there for players to grab in-game or right prior to the game to keep them fueled up. Is that
Yeah. Well, since we eat so early, guys will start to feel a little bit hungry. When you eat at 2:30, at this age, kids are burning so many calories and their metabolism's rolling so fast that you eat at 2:30, by 6 o'clock, they're starving. So we have, little things, simple stuff, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, granola bars, just little things like that aren't going to upset their stomach right before a game, but it's going to give them something to kind of cure that hunger feeling. So it's just little simple things that they need because they're going to be starving by the time the game starts. It's 5 hours between meals.
Now, your dad's on the San Jose Sharks staff. What are some of the things, as you now as a professional, as a strength and conditioning coach, have taken from that organization and implemented here?
Oh, tons of stuff. I speak with their strength coach on a regular basis, just on any new thing that they're doing, I try to implement. Like their big thing now is sleep, like sleep patterns and proper sleep. So now we've been trying to emphasize that, but it's a little more difficult for us. They have they have it a little easier in their travel. You know, they fly on private planes and they have very high-end meals set for them and everything like that. Very high-end hotels, so they do it a little easier. But sleep is something that is the new trend, almost more than nutrition. It's consistent sleep helps your body so much, and the right amount of sleep helps your body a ton. So we try to put a lot of emphasis on that. It's tough to get guys to settle down after a game. Their adrenaline's rolling, but we have to try to do the best we can to monitor, curfews and everything like that. And once their doors are shut, we can't control what they do inside of their room, but we just try to preach and educate them on how important sleep and the proper amount of sleep is for your body.
Now, there's some challenges this time of the year. You guys are over halfway through the season and keeping the guys fresh. I mean, that's a big challenge for you guys, and that's something that you don't take lighthearted.
Yeah, no, keeping them fresh it's with this age group, kids don't really get as tired as, say, when you start to get in your upper 20s, I guess. So they have a lot of energy, but a lot of it, like, believe it or not, working during the early part of the week, getting their lifts in early in the week actually helps them with their energy level later in the week. We just got to kind of taper it off as the week goes on to keep them amped up and ready to go. The hardest part is keeping weight on them, which goes hand in hand with their energy level. If guys are losing a ton of weight, chances are they're going to not be they're not going to have as much energy, not going to be as strong on the weekend if they're losing a ton of weight throughout the course of the season. And right now is kind of when you start to see that weight loss just from the wear and tear of the season. So that's the biggest thing. You monitor their weight, and chances are their energy levels are going to go hand in hand with that.
Well, a lot of stuff goes into it off the ice that a lot of the fans don't see. Jason, I appreciate your time. You do some great things here in Green Bay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.